Errol Spence versus SpenceTszyu. I didn't really want to call this fight, I'm gonna be honest, simply because I don't feel like this fight is fair to either guy if you pick one or the other because of what both of them went through. And one guy we haven't seen him fight since 2023. The other guy, he's been active, but he's been getting beat up pretty badly, and we witnessed him getting stopped 2 times already. So I don't know, man. I hate to call this fight, but I gotta do it because it's about being consistent with the channel. So I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all my outlook on this. So basically, man, the first thing I gotta look at is what I've been seeing from Errol Spence in the gym. Obviously, because we ain't seen him fight, so that's all we can go off of is him being in the gym, listening to his speech pattern, watching his balance, watching his footwork, watching the pop on his jab, looking to snap at his punches and stuff like that. And from what I've been seeing, he's definitely been locked in. I'm glad to have seen over the years since he fought Terrence Bud Crawford that he has been in shape from what we can see. And recently in one of his interviews, his speech pattern seems to have picked back up again, because for the past couple of years he's been talking a little bit slower, and now he seems to be talking at that pace again, to where he seems to be a lot more aware and a lot more mentally up during this fight week. So I think that's a great thing to look out for. Also, him having a new coach, and Coach Ronnie Shields, I feel like we're gonna be seeing the same Errol Spence, but him with another element, and reminding himself I gotta move my feet, I gotta step back, I gotta move my head, I gotta use my jab to make up openings. I can't just run in. I gotta respect this guy. I feel like as long as Errol Spence going with some type of respect, now that he's been through what he's been through, knowing that he can't break everybody, I feel like we'll get to see, a boxing side of Errol Spence. Not only a boxing side of Errol Spence, the stuff that he's been through, all of the talks, people talking shit behind his name, I feel like that's going to give him an extra drive. So we might see a lot more sturdiness from Errol Spence, and on top of the fact that he's fighting 2 weights up from the last time he fought. You know what I mean? So this 160, like I said, man, 160 seems like it's getting a lot of spotlight right now, man. So I don't know. To talk about SpenceTszyu though, SpenceTszyu, even though he's been getting beat in these fights, he has been winning some fights, and he has been going through some wars. So him as well, he has wear and tear, and it's trauma, because that cut that Fundora gave him on top of his head. So I feel like him as well, they both kind of got the same thing going on when it comes to people talking shit behind their names, people saying that they're through, people saying that they're trash, they're washed, this and this and that. I feel like he's been hearing all of that stuff. On top of the fact that Errol Spence won't shake this man's hand, I feel like that's playing a mental role in him as well. And I kind of feel like right now Errol Spence kind of got the mental edge over him, because SpenceTszyu came in trying to be a gentleman. Errol Spence came in trying to be a shark. You know what I mean? And we know him for being a shark. But I don't think SpenceTszyu expected that out of him. So I think as of right now, he's kind of thrown off by that, and he kind of feel played about it too. So who knows if that's gonna play in his mind, during the fight. But if I had to pick how and explain how I think the fight will go, I think both guys pretty much are similar in style. They don't really move their head too much. They're not too flashy. They not tricky. I feel like Errol Spence has a better jab. I feel like when it comes to other elements in a bag, I feel like Errol Spence has a better bag. Errol Spence, he showed us that he can box. He showed us that he can move his head around. He showed us that he can use his size and he can use his physical ability, But only thing I'm worried about is the inactivity. You know what I mean? The inactivity, and who knows what kind of medicines that he's been taking, during this layoff, because we seen Deontay Wilder go through the same thing when it comes to taking certain things and making your mind a lot more relaxed, making your heart a lot more relaxed. And on top of the fact that Errol Spence was basically saying he has one foot in, 1 foot out, so it's kind of like, but all in all, I think we can see in the early rounds, we can see a consistent jab from both. I feel like Errol Spence fights a little bit longer than SpenceTszyu, so I feel like he's gonna pull SpenceTszyu into a fight using his jab. I feel like due to him stepping around, using a little bit more movement, he's gonna start frustrating SpenceTszyu. As the round goes on, Errol Spence is gonna start picking it up, shooting to his body, and beating him up, turning him. And I do feel like it's gonna be a stoppage, probably around 9 for Errol Spence. I'm picking a round 9 stoppage for Errol Spence. Am I confident about that pick? I'm 70% confident about that pick, only because the fact that Errol Spence had a lot of time to rest. A lot of time to rest is not always a bad thing, because he's gave his body enough time to heal. So I'm not necessarily looking at the layoff as a bad thing, nor am I looking at it as 100% good thing. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I appreciate y'all for watching this video once again, and I will be dropping more. This is Pen and Pads with AB, and I'm out. Thank y'all.